Hi guys, how are you doing? How is everything on your end? I think I'm in that space where I can gladly say that I'm doing all right. I'm actually doing fine. So, as per the title of the video, yeah, we're going to talk about we're just going to dive more into, you know, what what is that is worth fighting of. What do you think in your life is worth your strength for you to just fight over it? So, for you to fight for it, not over it. Sorry, for you to fight for it. So, I think I'm relating it to that verse in the Bible. I'm not quite sure it's in which chapter, but I think it's in Numbers. The story of where the Israelites were now I think they were now going to reclaim the land that God had promised them. So I think before them going, there were some 12 people who were sent to just maybe do some survey about the place and then come back and give a report so that now the others can now go like water. But now when they came back, they were like, you know what? The land that we've gone to survey, the Canaanites are there. Like people are already owning that land. So we are not sure if we are not quite sure if we are the ones to go there because there are people already in that land. And as per the way that we are seeing them, they are more stronger than us. They can defeat us if we maybe if we engage in a fight. And I think it got me thinking that, you know what? It's actually worth the fight because the same God who had promised them that land, that same God knew that there were people living in that place already. But now I think what God wanted them to do is, fight for it. If it's yours, just fight for it. If something has been promised to you, if you just want something, just fight for it. You want it, fight for it. Because, if you don't fight for it, then how can you claim it? How can you claim that it's yours? So, I know in life there are things that happen. A lot of things happen that discourages. A lot of things might happen in our lives, and then we're like, why is everything falling apart? Why is just everything not working out on my end? But it's actually worth the fight. Giving up is not an option. Actually, that's one thing that I carry all along. Everywhere that I go, I'm always telling myself giving up is not an option. I might fail today, I might fail tomorrow, I might fall 100 times, but giving up is never an option. Giving up is not an option. I know at times things might happen and then you're like, God, kwani God ako wapi? God haoni yote ikifanyika. And there's this nini that says, I think the presence of adversity doesn't mean the absence of God. So when all of these things are happening, all the tribulations, all the problems, all the betrayals, all the oppositions, when all of that is happening, it doesn't mean that God is absent in your life. Because if you can recall very well, the story of the Israelites in the desert, they passed through a lot. They were beaten up by snakes, they fought with the people. But I think in all that, God was still with them. So if God didn't leave their sight even one bit, how can you even now say that I'm passing through this, I'm sure that God is not on my side? God is always on your side. As long as as long as you are ready to fight for what belongs to you, God will always be there to back you up. God will always be there to back you up. And I think the enemy knows what your worth is. The enemy knows the value of the things that you hold. So if you just don't stand still and just be in that space where in your mind you tell yourself, you know what, I'm reclaiming everything. I just want to reclaim everything that was stolen from me. Because we have been promised a lot promises. God has really promised us a lot. Starting from Abraham, we are inheritance, like we are, I think we are, should I use the word descendants? We are in that lineage of Abraham. And Abraham was promised a lot. God told Abraham that I will bless you, I will do nothing but bless you. So even when the going gets tough, just tell God, you know what? I'm tapping into the blessings of Abraham. I'm tapping into the blessings that you promised Abraham. I'm tapping into those blessings. Fight for your blessings. Fight for everything that belongs to you. Fight for your career. Even when like you've gone for how many you've gone for 10 interviews and they're not hiring you, fight for that career. Don't give up and tell yourself, this career is not working out for me. Fight for that career. Fight for your siblings. They're just doing things that are not, making sense. They're found in bad groups. They're found in what? Fight for those siblings of yours. Your family is not just having the best of their times. There's no peace in your family. Fight for that family. It's worth the fight. I think I've related with someone who has had a very, very, very hard time in their schooling year, and if she didn't give up, who am I to give up? Because she has been through a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Let me tell you, she has been through a lot. And giving up was never an option. In her mind, she was like, you know what? I'll fight for my education. I'll fight for my health. I'll fight for everything that belongs to me. I'll fight for it. And how do you fight for it? I don't mean that you go out there na unaanza kupigana mangumi, unaanza kufanya nini. Hapana, hapana, hapana. Fight for it through prayer. Your education is not going as how maybe you had thought of it. Pray for it. Fight for it in prayers. Pray for it. Fight for it in prayers. Your health is deteriorating each and every day. You go to the doctors, wanasema leo uko na hii, kesho unaambiwa uko na hii, kesho unaambiwa uko na hii. Fight for that sickness. You fight for that health. You can't now say, oh, I've been diagnosed of this nini, so I'm giving up. I'm just sitting there waiting for my day. Apana. Fight for that sickness. Fight for that sickness, for it to go, for you to inherit the good health that God promised us. Fight for everything that you think belongs to you. Your family, there's no peace. Fight for it. Pray for it each and every single day. Everything is worth the fight. And let me tell you, at the end of it all, you will sit back and say, you know what? I'm glad I didn't give up on it. I'm glad I didn't give up on my family. I'm so happy I didn't give up on my career. I'm glad I didn't give up on the visions that I have, on the gifts that I had. I'm so glad that I didn't give up on it and I fought for it. Fight for everything that you think you own. Everything that you want to own, fight for it. Everything that you want to possess, fight for it. It's worth the fight. Just fight for it. Keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. So that even the time that you get it, you have that pride. You can stand up and say, by the way, this is mine because I fought for it. When people graduate, they hold their certificates and say, by the way, you know what? I fought for this certificate. So fight for everything that you want to own. You want to own this, fight for it. And how do you fight for it? Fight for it in prayers. You can't do it anyhow. And I know the fight can be tough. You can pray. People pray out here. I think I've been in that space where I've interacted with people who pray until I'm like, well, ni mimi na joke ama, because people pray out here. And I'm that person who, I think when one nini shida moja kinislap to hivi I think I go back 10 times. So I think I'm in that space where I just want to fight for my salvation, for it to just stand. Because if I don't fight for it, I have nothing to hold on to. So it's good to fight for everything that you want, everything that you think you want to own. Just fight for it. It's worth the fight. And at the end of it all, you'll see the results. You will see that I'm so happy I didn't give up on it. I'm glad I didn't give up on that. I'm glad I didn't give up on whatever was happening in my life. Because maybe when things happen, they tend to tell you, they tend to discourage you. Vitu happens in a could discourage you because it's okay. Maybe it has happened. It has happened. So you just let go of it. Don't be that person who easily lets go. Don't be that person who something happens, you're so easy to let go. I know there are things that you can't hold on to, but try not to always let go of vitu haraka haraka. There are things you can fight for. People fight for marriages huku nje. Where? I've seen people who fight for relationships. They're like, huyu ni wangu na huyu ni wangu, simwache aende mahali. People fight for them. So why, if people are out here fighting for their relationships to stand strong, why can't you fight for your career? Why can't you fight for your good health? Why can't you fight for your vision? Why can't you fight for the gifts that you have? Why can't you fight for the hobbies that you have? Why can't you fight for your family? Why can't you fight for your siblings? There are so many things that you can fight for. Don't just fight for things that don't kind of make sense. Fight for things that they are valuable enough in your life. So yeah, I think that is only what I wanted to kind of talk about today. And yeah, nothing else. Yeah, I guess see you on the next one when we see. Yeah.